How is everyone doing? It is Tuesday. It is the start of my own streaming week, but it is Tuesday, which means it's puzzle day. So yeah, we're back with Professor Layton. I hope everyone's doing alright. How you doing, Shadow? I see you in the chat. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're ready for some puzzles. Because the further we get into this game, the harder the puzzles normally are. So, with some struggles with previous puzzles, isn't looking too great for us in the next couple of streams of this. So, we will have to see. But yeah, you're doing alright. How about me? I'm doing great, thanks. I plan to sort my life out today. Well, bits and pieces of my life. Didn't really achieve anything, to be honest. I did some washing. Did some food shopping. So I kind of achieved some basic stuff. So you're turning 30 on Thursday. It's a weird thought. Yeah, I don't like to think how old I am. And, like, especially if I try and compare myself to my friends and that of where I am and where they're at, and I just do my own thing. Forget about how old I am. Yeah. You doing anything exciting for your birthday at all, Shadow? On a different note, I've bought a new monitor because at the moment my monitors don't have HDMI ports, which have basically stopped me from streaming anything on my Switch or PlayStation. Because I used to use a TV, but it's behind me, and I don't want to move that. So my new monitor should arrive tomorrow, if Currys have not lied to me. And then all I'm waiting for is a new HDMI cable to reach. But yeah, which means next week or the week after you should expect to see some more Switch games and PlayStation games coming back into the schedule. So Kingdom Hearts should make a return soon. It's been a long time, but we're going to finally go back to Luigi's Mansion and finish that off. I think I'm going to start playing Elder Scrolls Online, so ESO. We'll go through like main storylines whilst leveling up a new character. And depending on who's online, if I'm still in the same guild as I was like a year ago when I last played, we might see some like dungeon runs or end sort of game content, or some like random PvP stuff. I don't know. But I want to sort of get back into Elder Scrolls Online, but just sort of casually. So maybe like a stream every 2 weeks or something like that. I've also got a couple of like simulation games lined up. So expect to see them in the near future as well. For Kingdom Hearts, I've got to finish playing / watching, is it 358/2? Basically the game that's not a game. We only did like a 2-hour session of it, so I kind of want to finish that off, even though I'm going to go back into it not knowing what happened. I remember little bits and pieces. Yeah, it's a game if I play the DS version, but I've got on PlayStation, so it's not a game. But I do have to press X every so often, so technically it's a game, because I've actually got to do stuff. How you doing, Tom? How you doing? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes to my schedule, because at the moment I've just been playing whatever I've got on PC, which is a lot, mind you. But I was playing a lot of Switch and PlayStation before Christmas. So yeah, let's get back into Professor Layton. And the recap is, after searching Henry Ladore's study, Layton decides to seek out Alphonse Dalston, an old friend from his past. As the only other person to have been contacted by the masked gentleman, could Dalston be involved somehow? Who knows? You're good, hard day's work done, and you've just had an amazing shot. Nice. There's nothing better, in my opinion, there's nothing better than when you had a hard day at work. Not that I know what a hard day at work is because I haven't worked for so long because of COVID and that. But like having a good hot shower after work, whew, does wonders. You feel so soft. Yeah, I can only imagine. So we need to go find Dalston. But where is he? Let's talk to this chap. Hey, how's it going? Very well, thank you. How are you? Just thinking about stuff. Don't believe in lively, carefree Montador. Big power struggle going on underneath. Indeed. Do you know any details, then? Possibly. Nothing's free in this world except wishes. Solve this puzzle first, then we'll see. You're like a teddy bear, big fluffy. The feeling of a nice shower is great. The bartender... Alright guys, pay attention because this is puzzle time. The bartender places 5 bottle caps on the bar. With the star logo facing up, she closes her eyes and starts turning caps over at random, counting every turn. Once she reaches 25, she suddenly slams her hand onto the bar, covers one of the caps and asks you, is the logo on this cap facing up or down? With the situation shown in the diagram above, can you answer the question? Be right back. No worries, you do you. Alright. One. So wait, they were all facing up. Oh, she turns caps at random. How are we meant to figure this one out then? If she's doing it at random, for all I know, she's not been turning this one at all. It's a 50-50 chance. I'll give us that. But, like, the way I've interpreted this is that she's flipping them at random. If it was in a line, we could probably logically figure it out. But oh, wait. We can logically figure it out. Everyone knows, or most people know, that a bottle cap, when the logo's facing up, very smooth, it's fine. With the logo upside down, the spiky bit will be where she's slamming her hand down. So I'd assume that she would have screamed or shouted or shown some sort of discomfort or pain. So I'm going to assume it's A.
Don't keep me in suspense.
What?
Perhaps I need another look.
Do you notice anything as she keeps flipping caps over and over? No, I don't. So I didn't read you on the actual day. I stream the day after. You know, bowling with nice. But yeah, since your birthday's on a Thursday and your brothers work Monday to Friday, they're going to take you out to dinner on Friday instead. So stream day off, I suppose. Nice. Alright guys, we figured out it's B, just by elimination. I'm curious to think, because like, I thought I was very intelligent there. Like, she's got to be in pain if she slams her hand down. Correct, the cap is facing down. Flip the caps an odd number of times and the number of caps facing up will be even and vice versa. Okay, very well. But in theory, if she slammed her hand down, she would be in pain. Shall we just all agree that I should have been right? The game's wrong. Probably gonna have some fish and chips at the local restaurant. You can't beat good fish and chips. Like, some places can't do it very well. I don't know how they do it, or how they don't do it, shall I say. But a good fish and chip restaurant, you can't beat it. I used to live within like a good walking distance. I'm still in walking distance, but by the time I get back from the fish and chip shop, it would be stone cold. Yeah, I'm too far away from it now. Alright then, you solved my puzzle. I'll spill the beans. Right. Know the Ladors? Heard they built this town years ago, using the booty from a treasure hunt. Then you got Dalston. A number of hotels here over the built a number of hotels here over the years, doing pretty well. Now some weirdo comes in during miracles, or seems to target the Ladors' properties. Catch my drift? If the Ladors lose their business, Dalston is the first to benefit. Is that what you mean? Spot on, you're sharp, you are. Think about who's profiting from the chaos, and you'll find the mastermind. In other words, do you think Alphonse Dalston is the masked gentleman? I can't. Every Tuesday, we all know I can't speak or read, so let's just crack on. Maybe, maybe not. Only the masked gentleman knows. Talk to Dalston, though. Couldn't hurt. That's where we're going, mate. I'll never get to have seafood, and you love seafood, but your brother, who you live with, is allergic, so see, that's a shame. Like, it's a shame that the one thing you really like is what your brother's allergic to. But hopefully you'll get to have seafood at some point. I'm guessing it's this way because of the orange dots lit up. We're not talking to fish lips there. Do you have anything new for us? Well, look who's back. How are you liking Montador? Our investigation is proceeding quite smoothly. Thanks for your help, madame. Well, you're bound to be doing better than the police. They can't see the forest for the trees. This is the thing, see? You've got a fresh perspective as tourists. You might be able to pick up on clues they missed. A fresh perspective as tourists? You mean by solving puzzles and gathering hen coins? Heavens, no. I mean, do what normal tourists do. Have fun, mingle in the crowd, go to races, play at the fun fair. Can we really do all that and still keep investigating? The masked gentleman is targeting the masses, so your best bet is to seek out the popular attractions. That makes sense, I think. It does make sense, Luke. Well, I told him they have... I told him they have food other than fish there, so I coaxed him into coming with. Yeah, most fish and chip shops do a large variety. Where am I actually going?
Soon, Master, you will enjoy the fabled hospitality of the dwarves. Roaring fires,
Malt beer, red meat of the bowl.
This, my friend, is the home of my cousin Valiant.
How you doing?
They call it a mine.
Now,
A mine!
if you've just been here just as I was been reading, you'll know how much I butcher normal words. How would you like me to pronounce your name, or what would you like to be called? Aya. It's definitely Aya. Aya. Look, I'm gonna butcher your name no matter what, so I apologise in advance. But thank you for the follow. How you doing? On occasion, like once every few months, when we go out to dinner, you'll order shrimp Alfredo. Usually nice. That was perfectly fine. Look, advance warning. I will probably pronounce your name differently every time, so as long as you're okay with that, we should be good. I suggest you choose a 3-letter name, since he doesn't fuck up mine. Yeah, Tom is quite a hard one to screw up, to be honest. But there's still a chance. It's a very small chance, but there's still a chance. We should find Dalston's home to the west of here. I know which way west is. Ah! This must be the circus. We met the ringmaster outside our hotel, didn't we? Can we go inside? Luke, we're not here to have fun. We're in the middle of our investigation. I know that. Luke looks so upset. This part of town's quite a different feel to it, doesn't it, Professor? Yes. We're on the edge of the desert here. You can even see part of the old ruin over there. That's the old ruin here, I guess. Or is that the hotel? I don't know. Really? Wow. Yes, this entire region of the desert is dotted with extremely ancient ruins. Okay, so we just got another mystery of another civilization. Realise you never dropped in your stream? You do have the best ebooks. Well, thank you. By the way, so I'm sure I pronounced that differently last time. Also streams, please go check her out. I caught her playing Professor Layton, and I'm pretty sure it was the Curious Village, the first one. And I'm sure you started Pandora's Box when I last caught you. Thank you, Matt, for the shout out, and hey up, lad. How you doing, Matt? Matt, I know you haven't streamed. Matt is also streaming. If you don't know, go check him out. So is Shadow. What? Matt, you missed the underscore on Shadow. How embarrassing, Matt. How embarrassing. But yeah, Matt, since you're not streaming, you're gonna have to let me know, what day is it? What special day is it today? There we go. I knew he was playing Final Fantasy. I was like, he's definitely not playing a game called Null. So, but we are getting distracted. Let's proceed to Dalston's house. There we go. Pro mod over here. This is why Matt's a mod. He's a pro at it. There's no one better. Shh. Can't see.
Professor!
Don't move.
This puppy should learn some manners.
Leave that young lady alone. Get back here, now!
It's a well-trained dog. You had wanted to see me play Professor Layton and completely forgot for a while. Looking forward to watching for a bit. Well, the thing was, like, when I joined your streams doing it, I was locked down at my parents' house away from my own PC setup, so there was a long sort of period of time where I think it was like 4 months I didn't stream just because I wasn't where I actually lived. And Matt, you're doing fine. You know what you're doing. Hey, Herschel Layton, is that you? I haven't seen you in years. I might be, I might not be. Shadow, you'll never know. Yeah, I'm definitely back home. If I wasn't... Looks like a different setup, so I guess not. Oh, to be fair, before I took that four-month break, unwillingly, I did move house, or move, like, flat. So it does look different because I'm in a completely different room, flat. Well then, I can officially welcome you back. Thank you, Shadow. Hello, Dalston. It's been some time. You look well. What are you doing in Montador? Don't tell me you've moved here too. No, I'm here on business. So you left Stansbury, I see. Everyone left. Stansbury's turned into a ghost town after that mess with the Ascot family. Ghost towns don't attract many tourists, and empty hotels don't make any money. He's intelligent, this one. Ah, yes. You always did mean to build your own hotels? didn't you? It seems you've done quite well for yourself here. Enough small talk, Layton. What's your business here? I'm investigating the recent events surrounding the masked gentleman. Who put you up to this? Angela? Oh, let me guess. I'm a suspect now, right? Well, that's a load of rubbish. What do I have to gain from a maniac terrorizing a town? This chaos is bad for business. Everyone's business. You were my replacement for Four Guys Friendship Games Night, and now you're back. Well, to be fair, like, I'm sure there'll be times where Freya or Matt or George isn't around and you're still welcome back in to play Fall Guys. And if I end up playing Fall Guys or a different multiplayer game that you have on a different day, we can always play. And we're gonna eventually plan Zelda stuff, Pokemon stuff. Who knows? At the moment, this month, my work potentially reopens on the 17th, so I could be going back to work this month. Who knows? All depends on what Boris says, doesn't it? But my schedule could be even more messed up once I start work again, because I actually have to have a proper sleeping pattern. I've heard that there is something of a prolonged power struggle going on in Montador. If one wanted to hurt an opponent, one might be willing to make a sacrifice or two, no? Hypothetically speaking. Why does the masked gentleman send a warning of his plans specifically to you and Henry? There must be plenty of other business owners in town who would be glad of the information. It certainly looks as though there is some connection between you and the masked gentleman, Dalston. Ha ha ha! Naive as ever, Layton. If anyone is connected to that creep, it's Angela. I beg your pardon. You weren't the only one Angela blamed for Randall's untimely end. Henry encouraged Randall to go on that expedition and convinced Angela to let him. Years later, Angela and Henry are married. You know the saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Angela holding a grudge against Henry after all these years? Come now, Dalston. That seems highly unlikely. Angela changed after Randall's death, you know that? She got uptight and sulky. Maybe she buried her resentment deep down and she's been plotting revenge all this time. Think about it. Angela never forgave you for Randall's death. Pat practically drove you out of Stansbury, didn't she? I wouldn't say that. Open your eyes, Layton. Henry loved Angela, and he couldn't stand seeing her with Randall. That's why he sent Randall out on that expedition into the ruins. Henry knew how dangerous it was. That's ridiculous, Dalston. Oh, is it? Then how come Henry kept everything Randall discovered about Norwell to himself, so he could find the treasure that should have been Randall's and take it for his own? Oh, Angela wasn't going to let Henry get away with that. This whole masked gentleman fiasco is her doing. With one stroke, Angela can ruin Henry, get the treasure, and exact her revenge. It's genius. That's quite the tale, Dalston. But without proof. That's all it is. I hope I'm there when the penny finally drops, Layton. This isn't a city of miracles, it's the city of betrayals. There's a bit of a ring to the city of betrayals, isn't there? A city of betrayals? Wow, that's... See? Even a child can see it. Luke's just realisation there. No, It's alright, Luke. Professor, I think I've heard enough. Let's go now. Oh, this boy has a mind of his own. Well, if you won't talk to me, at least go and see the mayor. The mayor, you say? I've heard he's put together a special task force to root out that masked lunatic. If you're serious about finding the truth, you'll want to have a chat with them. Actually, Dalston has a point there. Indeed. Let's head to the city hall then. Mr. Dalston, another letter. Okay. 2 actually. One for you, and the other is for someone called Mr. Layton. Does anyone know who Mr. Layton is? That would be me. Greetings, my friends. I trust you enjoyed last night's festivities. I certainly did. It was so refreshing. You see, people who are made of stone cannot cheat or lie. In fact, they cannot do anything unpleasant. They just stand there in dignified silence. To rob a person of their power to do evil is quite miraculous. Don't you think? Almost as miraculous as my follow-up tonight. I will be performing in the Gallery Plaza, and I assure you it will be the most enlightening experience. I hope you'll all attend. Until then, I, the masked gentleman, bid you adieu. So let me just catch up. Yeah, and I've been going absolutely ham on finding work myself so I can have a steady income. I have income, it's just not steady enough to make a living. That's fair. You're trying to find work. I've been looking at new jobs, but it's hard when, like, you go on these job finding websites and that, and you put in the title or the job sort of name you want, and you set the sort of standards as beginner or the entry sort of level job, and then it comes up with, oh, we need a master in this, or we need a specialist in this, and you need like 10 years experience. You're like, I'm looking for an entry position. Why are you advertising it in this entry sort of area? So it is very hard to find jobs and that. The story takes place, so the Curious Village was the first game, and then it goes Pandora's Box, and then it's The Last Spectre. So that's the original trilogy. I'm in the prequel trilogy, so this would be after, if you've seen the film, Eternal Diva, it places just after that, and it's after, what was the first game? It's after the first game. So it's like in the middle of the trilogy. This is a really bad explanation. It's before Curious Village, because Luke's young. And it's after the film, if you've seen it. You'd love to get into voice acting, but don't know where to start, to be honest. So you never gave it a second thought. What are the websites people go on, like Fiverr, or the sort of websites where you can charge people for like voiceover or music or stuff like that, where you can just sort of start yourself off doing some stuff, and it's all done through a website. So if you're not a people person, you don't have to meet face to face or anything. It makes you feel better, Jason. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, so you're not alone. Oh, the place, not time. Yeah, most of it is in the UK. This is they've travelled somewhere. Montador. I might actually have to Google it. Because my knowledge of the UK is there's no deserts. The miracle. To me, I'm Googling isn't helping because it's just trying to show me like puzzle locations and hint coin locations. But assume it could be somewhere in Europe, somewhere in America, because it's like a deserty location. It's got to be outside the UK, surely, unless they're just sort of making up a sort of location in the UK that's got deserty locations. Yeah, Jason, like, I'm what, 27? I think I'm 27. I'm really bad with knowing my own age half the time. Or am I 26? I'm one of those two. 26, 27, I don't know anymore. And when I started uni, I was like, I think I know what I want to do. And throughout that whole uni experience, I slowly decided, when I finished my course, I was like, even though it's really interesting, it's just not my sort of thing. But I still specialised in something else that's sort of connected. So I did sports rehab first, so like physio sort of style, and then I specialised and did a master's in psychology and sports psychology, which I'm interested in, and that's sort of like the area I kind of want to go in, but I don't know what I want to do with that. I went to uni for one semester and then just said, no, this isn't for me. Yeah, uni's a very hit and miss sort of thing. So I don't blame you. You're graduating the summer, you have no clue. Don't worry, because I think everyone's in that same sort of boat. I only did a master's because I had no idea what I wanted to do after graduation, after my undergrad. And I just sort of went on from there. But I like to think things have a way of figuring them out for themselves. Something's bound to come up and you're going to be like, yeah, that's for me. So, who knows? There, a warning from the masked gentleman while I stood before you. How did anyone know where we were? No, how did anyone know we were here? I can read. Yeah, stuff does randomly come up, and it can work out, you never know. It's just how long it takes for it to come up. That's the problem. I'm still waiting for that one person just to come off the street and be like, yo, here's a couple of £1 million. It's yours, take it. And I'll be like, sweet. But yes, or winning the lottery, you know, without playing. That's another thing I'm waiting for. Professor, we're being watched. I think you're right, Emmy. Look, that place is going to be teeming with tourists tonight. We still have time before sundown. We need to inform the mayor. Right, Professor? Let's go. The mayor should be at the city hall. It's just beyond the Lador place. He's probably busy planning with the special task force. He's called in reinforcements from London too. Maybe they're busy analysing the suspicious evidence against me as we speak. Maybe so. Huh. Come now, look. Let's head to the city hall. Thank you, Dalston. This was very informative. So yeah, like, during uni I didn't have a job. I was just living off student loans. And then when I did my masters I needed a job, and one of my friends managed to just get me a job with them, which is where I am now. So it kind of worked out without me even sort of looking. But that's not to say you shouldn't look. It's true though, I remember at first, when I was young, I wanted to be an artist, then a painter, then a graphic designer, then a teacher, then alright, now I guess I'm sort of band. Yeah, like, your interests and hobbies change with everything you do in life and your experiences and that. So it's definitely noteworthy to know that what you think you want to do will change. Like, I wanted to be, when I was in secondary school and going into college, I wanted to be a paramedic. When I was looking at unis, I was looking at paramedic degrees, but they are so competitive that I wasn't accepted into any uni for like 2 years. And and then I switched to physio in the second year of applying alongside a paramedic degree. I had the qualifications, it was just like work experience I was missing, but I had it all planned. And then I switched to looking at physiotherapy, and then I managed to get in to my uni doing sports rehab, which is basically the sports side of physio. And then now I'm looking more into psychology. Like, there's a whole, it's very medical based, but what I wanted to do has changed quite a lot. So yeah, how you doing, George? How are you today? How's work? But yeah, whatever you do in life, just take some experience from everything and learn from it all. But don't take advice from me, because I'm just just a ex-student slumming it about. I'm sure we're meant to go up here. Yeah, the city hall is just up ahead. So yeah, I work in a very medical background job right now as a cafe worker. So you can see that I'm doing my degree justice. So I wouldn't worry about if you're graduating or looking for jobs with the sort of same area of expertise as you're qualified in. That's what you train for, yeah. 5 years of uni in knowledge of like rehab and psychology to serve coffee. Whew. It's it takes a lot to serve coffee to people. So work was okay, kind of dead, but you were so tired. How's your day been? You know how last night in your stream I said I was gonna sort my life out today? Didn't happen. I've done some adult stuff. Just my life's not sorted, so let's go in and find the mayor and his task force professor. Alright, if Inspector Chelmy and Barton's not here, I'm going to be well upset. Ah, the task force strategy meeting is about to start and my partner still isn't back. I don't know why he bothers gathering evidence at the scene. Is one giant waste of time. Does this concern the petrification incident? Yeah, but it's too late now. Whatever evidence might have been there has been compromised by the crowds. That know-it-all from London and the chief are at each other's throats all day. And the other bloke is just a meathead. Who's the meathead? A meathead? What's a meathead? The chief's words, boy, not mine. I am really doing my degree justice, guys. Cafe workers take care of people, right? Yes, in a sense. I also silently judge them when they make terrible comments, because I think I'd be fired if I told them what I thought. But there we are. I think that's in every job, though. The older you get, the more you realise everyone is winging it. All adults are just making up, so they go, yeah. Pretty much. But I think, like, I feel that when my parents were growing up, I don't think they, because uni wasn't a massive thing, or college wasn't, like, pushed on people, they were winging it, but getting what I'd consider okay jobs, good jobs. Was now young people, kids, children, teenagers, whatever, are sort of pushed into education or apprenticeships, and they're expected to come out the other side with a good job or good job prospects. But the thing is, like, everyone's then back on a level playing field, and that pressure is still there, though. Everything was much more affordable then too, yeah. Pretty much. I guess most of what I've done is like voice characters and do commentary for characters in games, or streams of my friends' YouTube videos. That sort of thing was always good, fun practice. You don't get to flex your voice acting enough as you like to. My advice would be find people on YouTube or Twitch or that want voice actors, or go on to the websites that you can sell like voice acting services to, and just see what happens, because it's all experience in the end, and you sort of make money off it. So yeah, housing was definitely more affordable than George. Ladida, what's the matter? Oh, I know. You think the city hall is too serious for clowns, don't you? Well, it so happens I keep the officers motivated with a little routine of mine whenever they pass by. Watch this. Move your hands in the air. We're solving miracles today. We'll find the gentleman and we'll make him pay. This is quite a rousing chant, I must say. Oh, keep going. I can feel the adrenaline pumping. Look out, masked gentleman. My chanting will be the end of you. At least you're staying positive. Yes, it's good to see that. I was expecting a puzzle, to be honest, but a lot of the time with creative stuff, it's just a case of putting yourself out there. Bit vague, I know, but it's true. Yeah, I think it would be hard to find the right opportunities without putting yourself out there and taking up the opportunities that you would have normally been like, it's not for me, or it's not my sort of thing. So you just gotta, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet for the first couple of experiences before you find your footing. For sure, don't take yourself out of just applying for something or putting your ability to the front line. Wow, we didn't have a big city hall like this back in Mist Hallory. Montador continues to impress. There are a great deal of police officers here. Is this where they are stationed? I don't think so. I heard the main police station is somewhere outside of town. But look at how many there are. The entire force must be here. It seems the masked gentleman is receiving quite a bit of attention. Yes, they certainly upped the ante. We didn't see this many officers the night of the petrification incident. I can't speak now. Which could also mean that they were not prepared. Perhaps the masked gentleman doesn't always send out a warning. But that's not fair. Strike him when the town is helpless. What about all the innocent people he's hurting? George, since we've been talking about it, what kind of field were you always interested in to get into? Like, what's your dream job? You just recently applied for the job that I nearly talked yourself out of, but I turned it around in my brain and thought, why not just apply it? Yeah, the worst that they can say is, I don't think the worst they can say is no. I think the worst is no response. No is just as bad, but no response, I think, is a lot more harsh. And I think there needs to be some sort of a law put in place that employers would have to respond to every job applicant, even if it is just a no. Because when I like to apply for stuff, when I get declined or no, I like to ask, what can I do to improve my CV or my cover letter, or what did I miss out on? That way you kind of know what you've got to change. But like, no response is just annoying, it's just rude. Or like, give advice on what to improve. Yeah, a response, even if it's no, can be used in a positive way if you ask the right questions. Alright, that's the right attitude, Luke. Let's solve this case swiftly before anyone else suffers. Alright, let's talk to this chap. Can I help you at all, sir? We'd like to see the mayor. We've heard that he has assembled a task force investigating the masked gentleman. Civilians need the mayor's permission to talk to the task force. To get that permission, you need to see the mayor. Which is what you just asked for. I'll see if I can find him. Wow, we're actually going to meet the mayor of Montador. I wonder what kind of man he is. Managing a city this size must be a big responsibility. I wonder if I could do it. Maybe I'll be a mayor when I grow up. How does Mayor Luke Tritton sound? That doesn't have such a bad ring to it, just as long as you give us the royal treatment when we come and visit. Alright, Let's talk to her. We've got a puzzle coming up. Stamp and file, stamp and file. The paperwork has gotten through the roof since the masked gentleman turned up. All these boys in blue milling around and they still can't catch their mark. Imagine if I was that bad at my job. How do they expect to solve crime when they can't even solve this puzzle? I don't really know either, Jason. I used to be interested in acting and performing. You got great grades in school for that kind of thing and love to stream full time, as I'm sure many of us here would. Yeah. I think a lot of us would be, if we can make enough money off streaming full time, we'll do it. But it's getting to that point. I'm just happy to have it more as a hobby than anything right now. It's hard to know. Working in the game industry can be excellent. To be fair, working in the game industry right now would probably be the best chance to sort of get in. Because obviously, with COVID and lockdowns, gaming has gone through the roof for a lot of people. So it's probably a big thing right now. See, the thing is, you missed out on taking acting and performing classes. Didn't think about it until like college age. Your good grades were in math and Spanish. Grades were atrocious in science. See, I was really good in math, science, history. I never took Spanish. I had the chance. I didn't take it. I wish I did now. Not that I'd probably remember anything, because I took French for 5 years and all I know is like bonjour, salut. But yeah. We have guys, pause your conversations in chat, because it's puzzle time. We can't be stuck on the screen too long. You have a stack of thin tiles, which are 3 by 3 small squares in a size. There are 3 colours of each tile. Sorry, there are 3 colours and each tile is all one colour. You want to use your limited tiles available and stack them on top of each other to construct a top hat like the one above. How should you layer them? Take the tiles from the right and place them on the left. Okay, maybe I don't need your help with this one because it's more just putting shit on our screen. Working in games industry can be excellent. It can also be incredibly shit at times. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of up and downs. But like George just said, it all depends on your role and who you work for. But I always like the idea of game testing. But then when like George and Matt have spoken about it, it doesn't sound as appealing as you probably think it would. George, you wouldn't believe how many people I've spoken to at a place I worked for who interviewed it. Sorry, let me read that again. George, you wouldn't believe how many people I've spoken to at a place I've worked or interviewed at who knew about testology. Math, Spanish, English, depending on class, and art. You were good at history, unless it was global history, and science you struggled with. Funny enough, you sucked at US history. To be fair, US history, from what I've learned, isn't that interesting. Like, other people might find it interesting. Yeah, game testing does... If you don't know about it, it does really sound like you just play games, you test it, you see if it works, and if you find bugs, you report it. But from what I've been told and from what you've lot have said, it's far from that. So I'm not sure I'd want to go about doing it. And I think I was right in needing this background layer. How do I do this, chat? Whatever I do... Oh, this is going to be harder than I thought, actually. Because, like, it would be easier if I could crop part of it. But it's not that simple. Yeah, you wish it was that simple, yeah. It really isn't, from what you've lot told me. How do we make this hat? Guys, mate, like, I know I said earlier, don't worry about helping me. I think I might need help now. Yeah, I feel the white squares some have to go first. Because there's this line here that will need to be patched. See, I've lost that orange one now. But now I've lost this one. See, we've got... It's just the bottom line. Or maybe... No. No. How did we do that one? How did I do that? Oh, the problem is now I've lost my orange. There we go.
How about this?
We still on for a way out tomorrow, Roberto? We certainly are. It is Wednesday tomorrow. Yes, it is. I remember the last thing we were doing was jumping a fence into a trailer park to find... Was it my family or your family? Someone's family. So we shall see. There, an ordinary citizen has solved a puzzle that stumped the police. No wonder this case is going nowhere. Yeah, we're looking for some family. Whose family? I don't know, we'll just adopt someone's family, that's fine. Well, it isn't an easy case. The masked gentleman is a strange and highly unpredictable advisory. And the crowds work as a shield. The police can't use aggressive methods. Someone's having a street race outside. And the crowds work as a shield. The police can't use aggressive methods to take him down without putting civilians in danger. I've heard the excuses more times than you can imagine. Tell me, why are those paintings not back in the gallery? And why are those people who got turned into horses still out there somewhere, munching on hay? Vin Diesel's outside my house, yeah. Look, he's outside my house quite a lot, and the police go up and down my outside quite a lot as well. So, who knows what Fast and Furious films being filmed outside? Whatever the task force is in the meeting room at the back. If you have the mayor's permission, go on in. Wow, she's lost all faith in the police, hasn't she? The local people are feeling rather let down. The incident started over a month ago, so you can't blame them. Someone's out there living their life a quarter of a time, yeah. So I don't get it, because outside, I live between like two sets of like main traffic lights, and dead in the middle it's a 30-mile-an-hour limit, but dead in the middle there's a speed camera as well, and the amount of times I hear exhaust and cars that are like they're definitely doing more than 30. So I think we're on a big moneymaker stretch for the speed camera here. Yeah, George knows my road. It's only a quarter of a mile. It's only one of the biggest A roads going out of my town, but it's only a quarter of a mile. I really hope we can catch the masked gentleman before his next trick. Rhys Williams, Mayor of Montador. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to our fair city. Thank you. My name is Professor Layton. I'm a friend of Angela Lador's. Emil Tarver. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Luke Tritton, the Professor's apprentice. My friends and I are investigating the masked gentleman. We'd like your permission to contact the Special Task Force and offer our assistance. Investigating? Fancy that. Well, we need all the help we can get. Let's see now. What's your puzzle-solving record so far? You really need to have solved at least 25. Aha! You have? You are amply qualified. Welcome to our task force. How did the rest of the police manage to get into this task force? Because if they couldn't do that tile one, how have they solved 25 puzzles? To be honest, our investigation has been a bit bumpy. The detectives from London and our chief of police aren't getting along at all. I'm sorry to hear it. I requested assistance from London, see? I've forgotten their names, but they seem a sharp lot. Ah, yes. Our strategy meeting is about to begin, I think. Please, go on in and join the meeting. If you could defuse the situation, I would be incredibly grateful. Detectives from London, eh? I wonder who that could be. They're all in the briefing room back there. I'm counting on you. Maybe they're in a rush to get to those sticky sisters. I'm sorry. And can we really blame them? They're a long way off from sticky sisters unless there's one up north. I can only assume there's only one in the world because the reviews from that one we read, I doubt they managed to get a second sticky sisters. Yeah. It's one of life's many mysteries of why they're so sticky. Eventually, Matt and George, we will be going, and we will attempt to solve that great mystery. There's 3. What? Leeds is my closest, probably. Yeah, I'm not going to Leeds just to have a shit experience. Do we have to do? Yes, George, yes. Yeah, I think Leeds would be my closest, because Leeds would be closer than Essex. There used to be one at Thorpe Park, apparently. Oh.
Oh, it's Emmy and Layton. And the little chap, too.
little chap. I'm not a child. I'm Luke Triton, apprentice to Professor Layton.
Yeah, I reckon Thorpe Park closed them down because the amount of sticky rice, George.
Ah, of course. Inspector Grosky. We should have known it was you.
You probably weren't the only one thinking it, but you're the first one to say it, so it's on you, George.
How did you get in here with all the competent police officers?
I'm not that cutscene, sort of style cutscene, I'm not sure I liked it compared to like the original sort of animations.
Oh, Ruth, if you're not careful, you might end up hurting my feelings. Guess I'll have to turn to my arrest record and Scotland Yard to cheer me up.
Yeah, I probably should have warned you that my chat, along with Matt's and George's, Matt is Mr. Ruffy and George is the Skyline Superman, all our chats will turn really weird really quickly. Basically, where we all lived, yeah, especially when the three of us are together, where we all lived, there's a restaurant called Sticky Sisters. None of us have been, but we all know about it. We all have seen it, and it's just a running joke that eventually we'll go there. And I once read all the reviews while playing Fall Guys, or I typed the reviews whilst George was playing Fall Guys or something, and it just intrigued us even more, mainly because the reviews were that bad. And there's just been a lot of running jokes going off of this one restaurant. So that's the short story. There's probably a lot longer explanation.
And how many of those arrests came with the professor's help? About half?
Well, yeah, the one I read, the one I typed out that was they ran out of cutlery. It was along the lines of there was only like 3 tables taken. And you're like, how can you run out of cutlery when there's only like 3 tables being used? Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it probably is money laundering or something dodgy going on. Because the pictures of the food and all the reviews don't make it seem like it's a restaurant.
Yeah, I suppose that sounds about right. Good to see you too, Emmy.
Professor Layton, I presume.
Who's he?
Detective Inspector Leonard Bloom, Senior Detective at Scotland Yard.
That's quite the title. Herschel Layton, how do you do?
Wow. This must be a really big case to call in Scotland Yard's finest.
I guess so.
I wonder how the local police feel about bringing in external help.
How did all these people get in my briefing room? Who are these civilians? Where's my tape?
I think the plan is, because me and Matt on. So Sticky Sisters is by where Skyline is, George, which is where my parents live. So probably when me and Matt next go back down in the same time frame, I think we'll coerce George into going. So it's whenever we all are back down together, because I think it would be an interesting experience. I reckon we're gonna have to be drunk for it. Or I think it was Matt that said we'll start there, get drunk, and go back to see if it gets any better. Can we all make sure we get vaccinated first? To be fair, you're not talking COVID vaccine. Oh, I was about to say, like, I'm sure if you survive the Sticky Sister experience, you're probably safe from everything.
Chief Inspector Sheffield, may I introduce Professor Herschel Layton?
Scotland Yard has solved many difficult cases with his assistance. I assure you, any help he can offer will be invaluable to us.
All right then. Just make sure he doesn't get in the way.
I don't like this Sheffield bloke. He's a bit square for my liking, but his attitude as well.
If we're done with the pleasantries, I'd like to get on with solving this case.
Look, just look how square his head is. Let's talk to Mr. Squarehead. Right, are we ready to get this meeting started? Not got any other business, have you? Because this is going to take a while. I just want to see if I can talk to any of the others. I reckon I can talk to these two. How long is this meeting going to last? Maybe we should plan a small exercise routine so we don't get stiff. It's our brain we're meant to be exercising, Inspector. When you're ready to start, talk to Chief Inspector Sheffield and take your seat. Alright, so we might as well just start. Good, then plug yourself in a seat and let's get this over with. Cutscene? Yes.
Let's not drag this out any longer than we need to. Grab a seat and sit.
There's a lot of police.
Luke, the floor's all yours.
Please, if you would give me your attention, then perhaps I could help you apprehend the masked gentleman. Since you have proven yourselves to be astoundingly ineffective thus far, we've brought in some extra brain power to expose the truth behind these malicious tricks. This masked buffoon has made 4 appearances. We will now dissect each one carefully.
Ah, very short. He is edgy. Wow. He is. Literally, by demystifying the masked gentleman's crimes, we aim to learn his methods and use that knowledge to track him down. We have a special guest here. His skills of observation are unparalleled in this room. Professor Layton, if you would. Of course. Where'd you like to start? Let's start with the most straightforward case, the people who turned into horses. Ah, yes. I haven't been able to gather much evidence in that case. However, I understand that there were witnesses. Indeed, perhaps we should fill you in on what we know. Thank you, that'd be very helpful. Well, naturally, we have the statements taken from witnesses at the scene. Let's start with those. Please, go ahead, Detective Bloom. I will now summarise the witness statements and present some relevant evidence. Please pay close attention. The incident occurred at night. The carnival's main attraction, the nightly parade, was in full swing. As the parade approached a bend in the road near the shopping district, the masked gentleman appeared. Presumably the area was full of tourists. Yes, just as the masked gentleman had planned. A flash lit up the sky. The crowd looked up to see a gentleman stood high above them on a ledge. According to our reports, he snapped his fingers and the light intensified, blinding onlookers. When the bright light subsided, it appeared that some of the people had been turned into horses. At any rate, those people vanished, leaving behind only a few personal effects. Detective Bloom, do you have a theory as to what really happened that night? Yes, I do. I see. Please allow me to confirm a couple of points before we continue. Does the parade start at the same time every evening? In a matter of speaking, I suppose it always starts just after sunset. Were you able to confirm the identities of the people who were supposedly turned into horses? No, oddly enough, none of their belongings contained any IDs and no missing person reports have been filed. I see. Thank you, Detective. Looking at the information at hand, I believe the truth is clear. The masked gentleman obviously tricked witnesses into believing some people had turned into horses. There was one essential atmospheric element into this charade. What was the key element necessary for the masked gentleman's trick to work? Well, I would have said. Let me know in chat what you think. Which one of the three? But I would have thought it was the light. When he clicked his hand, the light brightened, so people were blinded and couldn't see, and that's where horses were brought in or something. Don't wish to alarm you, but I've got the Doritos out. What flavour? Also, side question: is it in one of those new containers? I'm not sure whether they're actually worth it or not. I haven't bought one yet. So, salsa. I don't think it's the weather. Colours in the parade. Time of day, maybe. Of course. It was already dark at the start of the parade, so it'd be easy to miss things even before the blinding light. My thoughts exactly, Professor. And of course, it's much easier to trick the eyes with bright lights than it is bright lights when it's dark all around. Several witnesses claim they actually saw tourists transform into horses. However, I do not believe in magic. Why couldn't the witnesses have seen the transformations? Their eyes were closed because of how bright it was? It would be very big brain to say there were no tourists and they were all just staged actors. Okay. What? You should always expect crotch photos. Wait, hang on. I'm waiting. When the horses appeared, the people's eyes must have been closed. Right, at night, their eyes would have been extremely sensitive to bright light. They couldn't have seen anything. In other words, the masked gentleman temporarily blinded onlookers to cover up the trick. Our so-called tourists swiftly left, and horses were set loose in the street, which leaves just one thing left to explain. Where were the horses hidden? In the alleys nearby, in the art gallery? It's got to be the alleys nearby. It's got to be convenient, right? The small dark alleys giving on to the high street. One could hide horses in those and release them all at once. Well played, George. Well played. It would seem you have it would seem you have it all worked out, Professor. Would you care to elaborate for everybody? Certainly. First, it seems that the key to this miracle is in its location. The shopping district is full of little alleyways, and that particular area is isolated by a bend in the road. Should the emote be in there? I wasn't sure. It's up to you whether you put it in there, because it would work. Nightbot would, or Streamlabs bot would put it in, because it's not a paid emote. So it's up to you. Just before the incident, everyone was absorbed in the parade. No one paid attention to the dark alleyways. A bright light appeared suddenly, blinding the crowd, and horses were released from the alleyways. Nah, leave it out. Or put it in. Don't bother me. It should just be the same. It might be... Sometimes when I was setting it up, it was very finicky on the edit. It could have been... There might have needed to be a hashtag before the 20 to symbolise the number. So I'm saying, you know, I'm sorry. Either that or it's not registered the edit. When I finish stream, I'll look into the commands. At the same time, people disguised as tourists dropped some props and went to hide in the alleys. I'm offended and out of my depth. By the time the witnesses could see clearly again, all they beheld were the horses. Precisely, but there's no evidence that the masked gentleman had accomplices found among the tourists. True. But isn't it suspicious that the belongings found at the scene contained no forms of identification? Besides, if these people had been genuine tourists, their family would surely have reported them missing. Very good, Professor. That was my conclusion as well. Puzzle solved, guys. You've been meaning to make dinner for ages. Be right back. What are you having? If you haven't already been right back. What? So the Master Gentleman's miracle was just a simple trick? Yes, Chief Inspector. Smoke and mirrors, so to speak. Only in this case it was bright lights and dark alleys. Bah. Alright, men, let's have a breather. Layton, come and see me again when you're ready to go on. Stir-fried noodles with veg and chicken? Nice. We're going to go straight into the next one. Alright. Time to move on to the next miracle. Let's see what you make of this one, Layton. I will do what I can. What do you know? Not a lot. The short of it is some characters popped out of the paintings at the art gallery and ran a riot in town. Characters from paintings ran riot, you say? What did they do exactly? The witness reported people dressed in strange clothes, charging around and breaking things. But when the sun went down, they disappeared just as quickly as they appeared. Did anyone actually see these people step out of the paintings? No, the gallery had already closed by then. In that case, why did anyone suppose that they came out of the paintings? Well, apparently they looked just like some characters in famous paintings down to the finest detail. And when they checked the gallery, we saw that the paintings were empty. Empty? Do you mean... The characters in those paintings were gone, vanished. Only thing left was the background. Surely it was the paintings were just swapped. By the way, Matt, I got some of those Maryland muffins the weekend just gone, and they're so good. Asda have them. What? I might have to take a trip to Asda. Just to go see if my Asda stocks them. You saw this yourself? Interesting. The key to this trick must lie in the paintings themselves. That's what I thought, but we've thrown our best experts at these paintings and haven't found a thing. I see. Please allow me to ask a few more questions then. Were the paintings from which these people disappeared particularly valuable? From a common source? Cursed? I'd say a common source, because if they're common, you could probably get others. Like a duplicate. Did their paintings come from a common source? As a matter of fact, they did. According to the curator, they were all donated earlier that day. It was a collection of replicas, and the donor wanted to remain anonymous. All the paintings were investigating came from that collection. That can't be a coincidence. Whoever donated these paintings was an accomplice. Agreed. We looked into it, but nobody has a clue who this mysterious donor is. We questioned the whole staff of the gallery, but they all came out clean as a whistle. What a huge blooming waste of time all that was. I think we must understand how the illusion was created in order to find the truth. Were these paintings... I reckon they either framed or packaged. I'm going to go with framed. No. Were the frames of these paintings unusual in any way? Were there any thick enough to hide, say, a person? No, I was more thinking that you could just rip off the front. No and no. We examined all the frames closely and even took some apart, but they were completely ordinary. Strangely packaged. Were the paintings packaged in any particular way? The curator did say the paintings were vacuum sealed. He said that this was usually reserved for rare items. Interesting. I believe the airtight packaging is relevant here. The portraits were sealed when they arrived, and the frames came in thick metal cases. The gallery staff were pretty surprised that replicas were given such secure packaging. We didn't really think much of it. Indeed, still, in order for my theory to be correct, the donations must have included specific display instructions. Alright, so do we think it's when to display them, where, or how? How to arrange them? It's got to be when, surely. Because it's the timing of the trick. Were there specific instructions about the exact time to display the paintings? Yes, actually, there were. How do you know, Layton? The crates arrived in the morning, but the instructions from the donors said to display them precisely at noon. And therein lies the trick. Vanishing paint, maybe? Because the frames can't hide people, they already checked the frames. Hallucinogenic gas is a bit far-fetched. The portraits were treated with special paint that slowly disappears when exposed to air. Does such a thing even exist? We have all observed how someone causes a painting to fade, yes. In a similar way, it's possible to create a chemically reactive paint that turns transparent when exposed to air. Of course, with paint like that, you could make anything disappear from a painting. Correct. Naturally, it would take some time for the paint to turn transparent, so the timing must be precise. The seals were removed so that the paint disappeared. No, sorry. The seals were removed so that the paint disappearing would coincide with the appearance of the rioters. The masked gentleman had these rioters dress up exactly like the individuals in the portraits. This is either genius or utter hogwash. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. I like this theory of yours, Layton, but we have no evidence to back it up. While I doubt such paint would just disappear without a trace, if you examine the canvas for chemical substances, you'll find residue outlines where the paint turned transparent. I'll order the analysis. Excellent work. I underestimated you, Layton. Another one down? Good work, Professor. Let's have a break. I order the brakes around here, Bloom. Alright, everyone, off you go. Layton, let me know when you're ready to go on. Alright, so we've solved, I think, 2 out of 3 miracles. We're just going to go straight into the next one. Which I think is where people got turned to stone when we first arrived. Right, you lot, let's get on with it. Inspector Groski, you're up next. Alright, Layton. Here's another one of the Crook's miracles for you to ponder. Even you'll find this one hard to explain. We'll see if it's anything like the first 2. It's not a miracle at all. The other 2 didn't involve people being engulfed in flames. True, tell me more about it. Alright, what have we got? What have we got? Certainly, I have the report right here. The incident took place last Sunday. That morning, 13 citizens received an ominous letter. Naturally, it was from our dastardly villain, the masked gentleman. Esteemed citizen, I cordially invite you to a special afternoon showing off my latest miracle. Come to the Gallery Plaza at 1 PM sharp. I must insist you attend, unless you wish to forfeit your life. That is. He also advertised the event in the papers. Miracle on Rouge. A modern piece by the masked gentleman. As a bold move, I suppose the townspeople came. townspeople and tourists alike. The crowd was enormous, apparently. Citizens of Montador, welcome. I'm the Masked Gentleman, your host for today's event. Also with us this afternoon are 13 very special guests, here at my personal behest. The cryptic voice could be heard, but there was no sign of him, only an odd tent in the plaza centre. Then, just before 1 PM, the canvas fell to reveal a stage with the 13 invitees standing on it. How far were the audience from the stage? Well, they can't have been close, or a lot of them would have been hurt. You see, when the clock struck 1, boom! Okay. The 13 people on stage all burst into flames. According to the reports, the flames grew to an inferno, then poof, gone, along with the people on stage. The people on stage disappeared. Correct, as far as I can see, the only explanation is that they burnt to ash and blew away. Yeah, it's a big magic show. The Masked Gentleman is very good at his magic and his performance. It's all about how he displays his magic. That's not a miracle, that's a public execution. Except it wasn't. They were all found at their homes later on, with not so much as a scratch. But that's impossible, yes. The victims were just as confused as us. They went to the plaza and that's all they remember. Did you check the stage? Perhaps there was a space to hide underneath. It wouldn't have been much of a hiding place. The entire stage was consumed by fire. I'm racking my brain, but it would be easier to bench press a lorry. And if anyone was going to bench press a lorry, Inspector Grosky would be that guy. Huh. Are the investigating officers present? Yes, sir. I took statements from the witnesses and interrogated all 13 individuals involved, sir. Splendid. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions. The Masked Gentleman handpicked his victims. Were they his accomplices, friends with each other, magicians? I'd like to think his accomplices. No. Is it possible that these invitees were actually the Masked Gentleman's accomplices? We suspected that at first, sir. So we checked them out thoroughly. They're all law-abiding locals. So they've got to be connected in some way, surely. Were the invitees friends, by any chance? No, sir, not exactly. But there was something. Go on, please. Well, it turns out the 13 invitees are all members of the same squash club. Really? That's news to me. Tell me more about this club. Not much to tell, sir. It's a popular club. I concluded that the whole thing was just a coincidence. A coincidence, eh? What do you think, Layton? I think the young officer may have found a lead. Now I have another question. Did any of the witnesses see the victims that actually go on stage? Because my thought process of this is none of them were actually on stage. Maybe like holograms, or I don't know. Did anyone see the 13 people take the stage? No, sir. No one was seen entering the tent or leaving it. So the invitees all got on stage without anyone seeing them. In the middle of the day, no less. Indeed, huh. I think the detail might be the key to solving this puzzle. A final question, if I may. Could you tell me about the clothes the 13 wore on stage? Of course, sir. Ask me anything. Were they wearing extravagant clothes? Nothing. Other clothes later on. Like, what different clothing, surely. Because if they were wearing nothing, it's a different kind of show. Were the invitees' clothes different from what they were wearing when found later on? I don't know, sir. Is it important? It may be. Could you check for me? Of course, sir. I'll have a quick look through the photos. What are you thinking, Layton? We might be onto something here. How did you guess, sir? All their outfits changed. What? I checked the photos from the incident. The invitees were all wearing something else when we found them later on. What's that got to do? Oh, I think I've got it. Another wind for the yard. Don't hurt me, Inspector. What is it? The victims' clothes burnt up on stage and they all ran home naked. I don't think so. Well, I don't hear anyone else speaking up. Stop that smirking, Layton. What is it? Out with it. I don't believe any of our 13 victims ever left their homes. Nonsense, Layton. Hundreds of people saw them on stage. Allow me to explain. We know that the masked gentleman sent instructions to 13 people asking them to come to the plaza. That's right. But the whole town was sure to attend thanks to the newspaper advert. Our villain already handpicked the victims. I believe the 13 each received 2 letters. Okay. The first letter was to be shown to the police and the second held the true instructions. These so-called special guests were not summoned to the plaza at all. They were ordered to stay away, threatened even. But they were on that stage. No, it merely looked like they were. Those people on stage were really just expertly crafted mannequins. And the clothing? Ah, yes. The dolls even wore the clothes that belonged to those they resembled. Clothing that was stolen in advance. Ah, from the squash club. Some of them did say they'd been victims of theft recently. Hang on a moment, sir. While the 13 were safely at home, the masked gentleman burned their likenesses before the horrified crowd. The onlookers were already convinced he could perform miracles, so all it took was some rudimentary pyrotechnics. That's preposterous. There's a lot of talking in this episode. Professor Layton, sir, you're right. I found a second letter in one of those unsorted evidence bags. How are they police? This one in particular, how is he still in the force? Everything was just coincidental to him. So all the evidence was just there without them actually using it. And there we have it. Puzzle solved. I'm assuming we're going to have to solve the last one. Very impressive, Professor. How's he still in the police when he can't see anything under that hat? That's the thing, like, he had all the evidence there collected and everything. So he's done the legwork. He just sort of like put the evidence on a shelf and just be like, it's fine. Yeah, that is true. Most police officers, except for Inspector Charmy and Inspector Grosky, and Barton, of course. You gotta love Barton. Are very underqualified, which is why a renowned archaeologist has to come in and help them. Like, if that happened in real life, if you were told, oh, this archaeologist has come to help solve this crime, you'd be like, it's just a little bit weird, that. But it would really undermine your faith in the police, though, if that did happen. We're still investigating the petrification incident, but once we have more to go on, I'd appreciate your input. Who knows? Now that we're on to the masked gentleman's methods, perhaps we can solve this one ourselves. I have faith in your team, Detective. We won't be beaten by this little toad and his fancy circus tricks. I knew there were tricks all along. Now I've got a crook to catch. I'll run 1,000 miles if I have to. For the yard! Grosky is definitely a character. Inspector? I think we'll be leaving too. Thanks again for your help, Professor. Inspector Grosky and I will continue our investigation of the petrification incident. Once he's calmed down, that is. We'll contact you just as soon as we've finished. I look forward to it. We'll follow your... I've read that out twice wrong. We'll follow our own leads in the meantime. Well then, meeting over. Back to the investigation. Alright, so we've got to go investigate. But what are we investigating? Layton, I just heard the news. Stupendous. Absolutely incredible. Words are hard, dude. We get it, I know. The thing is, like, I find it hard just to speak and read basic stuff. But I choose games where there's a lot of reading. To be fair, I don't have to read all of it. But I find it... I feel it's better to read it. Yeah, especially on stream when you got people watching you and judging you. It's even harder to figure out what words are. So yeah, you're like a challenge. Not sure I like challenges. Layton is challenge enough. Layton, I just had the news. Stupendous, absolutely incredible. Talking to old fish lips lady in this game is a challenge because she mixes half of one word with another, and as you might have seen, I have judging you. Us? How dare you? Look, I don't know whether you're judging or not, so I'm just going to assume you are. I expect the worst. But yeah, the one of the characters in here merges two words together, so when I have trouble just saying one word, having a made up word is even harder. It was nothing, Mr. Mayor. None of that now. The officer told me how you helped decipher these miracles we've been plagued with. We'll be able to reopen the gallery. The curator will be thrilled. He says some new pieces have already been donated. I'll personally see to it that they're checked for vanishing paint. To be fair, I'm sure people judge me when I'm on camera too, yeah. I mean, I'm a very judgy person, not gonna lie. I think in our own way, like, I judge people, I judge everything quite a lot. But I'm not one to say what I'm judging out loud. Like, I keep it to myself. So I think a lot of people just silently judge. But that's for everyone to... for them to do. So... I know people judge me. Just look at the quote list. Yeah. I think we judge George more than anything else. Mainly because of his quote list. Also be alright. No worries. You do you. Yeah, the quote lists basically do give out. You judge me? Oh shit, he's back, Matt. No, we were saying we love you, George. Abort mission. Great, Professor. We can investigate the gallery ourselves now. How you doing, George? Welcome back. Oh, George, did I say? I'm not sure if I said at the start of the stream. I might have done. But I'm not sure whether you were here for it. But my new monitor is meant to be arriving tomorrow. If curries have not lied to me. So we shall see. Oh shit, George is back. Stop talking shit about it. Yeah, exactly. Shh. We'll save it for tomorrow, Matt. Let's make it to our next stop. We may find some valuable clues. And there are one or two fine sculptures I'd like to see. Huh. I like paintings better, but I like clues best of all. Alright, so it's a nice place to stop. We'll do some mini games. I don't personally read these, so I don't see. Oh, there's more. What? Oh, I didn't tick off the past. So we're not going to do any more story stuff, but what we are going to do is the episodes. We didn't pick up any more robot stuff. There's no more shop stuff, so we'll do the episodes and we'll look into the rabbit show stuff. For some reason, my HDMI cable that's meant to be coming with it is being shipped separately. So I think I'll probably wait for that. But I think I might move my Switch from at the moment it's like behind me in the dark. I'll probably move my Switch from there to somewhere on my desk, and that way I wouldn't need as long of HDMI cable to start doing Switch games again, which means I can finally finish Luigi's Mansion. But yeah, I'm hoping to start Kingdom Hearts again soon. So what I'll be playing will switch up soon. Hey, Montador at last. Now where is this devious villain that's been menacing in the city, eh? You there, stop! In the name of the yard! Yes, how may I be of assistance, sir? Inspector Grump Grusky. I was hoping you could tell me about this masked mantelpiece or what have you. Masked mantle? Ah, I believe you mean gentleman. I'm honoured that Scotland Yard would take an interest. Whoa, George. Calm yourself. I won't be starting with Kingdom Hearts 2. I've got to finish 3 billion days /2 first. So, unacceptable. But the thing is, like, I will finish the game /movie fairly quickly, I think. And then I will go straight into Kingdom Hearts 2, so it'll only be like a week or two difference. Who knows? Let's cut to the chase. Tell me what's going on in the city. I'll make short work of the scumbag. Well, simply put, a strange man has stolen the symbol of our city, the Mask of Chaos, and is using it to commit nefarious deeds. He calls himself the Masked Gentleman, and claims his acts are miracles, but I would sooner call them nightmares. Nightmares, you say? Well, we can't let that go unchecked, can we? The rascal toying with innocent citizens. It may interest you to know that a special task force has been established at the City Hall. Why not contact them? Ah, so they're at the City Hall, eh? Watch your step, Masked Gentleman. Justice will be served piping hot. Sir, I believe that's the wrong oh dear, he's out of sight already. It was just around the corner too. Fine, I'll let you off this time. Thanks, George. Thank you for letting me off. Kingdom Hearts 2 will come very quickly, don't you worry. Michelle. Right here, Mr. Mayor. What's the matter? I've just had the most luminous idea. I see. Would you care to enlighten me as well, then? Ever since that people turned into horses palaver, we've had citizens asking all sorts of questions, right? Well, no wonder. They all want to know who this Masked Gentleman character is, if only we knew. Now, I know it's disrupting your work, so there's me thinking, how about creating a special task force to deal with him? We could give them headquarters here in the City Hall, so they'd be on hand in case anything else happens. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's good, isn't it? We could even call up Scotland Yard and commandeer an investigation team. Wait a minute, sir. We can do that? Well, if we can't, we'll just say no. They'll just say no, won't they? And if they say yes, whoop-de-doo-dah for us. Well, at least you're staying positive, Mr. Mayor. I keep telling him just to play the actual 358/2 game on DS. He's already playing Professor Layton on emulator, why not? I actually accidentally deleted my DS emulator when trying to create more space on my PC. Because at the moment I want a 3DS emulator. So I do need to... Oh dang, yeah. I do need to reinstall a DS one. Which isn't a big deal. I'm just too lazy because I'm not playing anything on DS. So yeah, okay. Okay, Bunny the postman's work is never done, delivering letters to all the denizens denizens of the forest, whatever the word. Okay, let's rehearse. Bunny is the local postman in the woods. He loves... I got really confused at what I was meant to do, but that's just chat. He loves delivering the post because he gets to see his friends every day. A gleeful look. The only part he doesn't like is getting up early. Bunny is not a morning rabbit and is in the habit of oversleeping. What would you do if you were startled or awake? Shock. But even on those days, he always finishes his rounds in good time. Look playful, act the fool. Maybe jaunt. It's a teensy bit dangerous. Scared. I think we've got that one. But luckily, he has a secret shortcut that leads him just about anywhere in the woods. I guess we'll just figure out. Today's post bag is bulging with letters and parcels, so he'd better get going. I'm just going to select that one because it wasn't really giving me hints on what it should be. Okay, so the first one was fine. Okay, the second one was fine. Okay, so we want to waggle his tail on the third one. Fourth one is fine. Amateurist. Okay. Wait, let's go back to the chat and see. Is it just going to say the same thing? Oh, look at the rabbit, it's sleeping. By the way, our rabbit is called Splooge. You can thank Nat for that. Oh, let's give it belly rubs. Sorry, what? Yeah, you heard me. Nat named the rabbit, so of course so that was correct. With a shiver, that's fine. Wagtail. Oh no, so we need shock, sorry. Then it's shiver. Let's see if that works. So speaking of Nat, how you doing, Nat? Yeah, I was saying you named the rabbit. Got back from the dentist. Yeah, Bob was bitching about, yeah. 100%. How's the dentist? I hate going to the dentist. I really should go, but dentists are, ugh, they're meh. Okay, so we're doing well. We're doing well. I don't know what to do as the last two. We got a Bravo. Because there wasn't really hints in the last two. So okay, so I think we're going to need to think of even more moves to use in the next few plays. Mate, don't get me started on dentists, yeah. The thing is, like, the last two times I went to the dentist, it was for, like, a filling. And then, like, normally, like, within 48 hours, that filling, I don't know whether it's that the dentist has done it poorly, or something I've eaten or done, or like whatever, is like chipped or something, and it's not done correctly. So I really don't like going to the dentist for one, and normally whatever they've done that hasn't always gone correctly, so I've always had to go back. So I've never had a good experience with the dentist. I was on the phone to him earlier. I was on hold like 50 minutes, and I shit you not, every 10 seconds the music would stop and a voice would say, "Your call is in queue, please hold the line." Oh, so they didn't even leave like the song going on. They interrupted it, making, if it's anything like some of the hold calls I've been on, they interrupt it with a pause to make you think someone's just connected on the other line, and then it goes on. You're like, they tricked me again. And then when someone does actually pick up, it takes you a second. Oh, we can't do the last one. But we've learned some new moves for our rabbit splooge. So that's always good. We will save it here. Your dentist is really sweet, to be honest. Like, my dentist, well, my ex-dentist, because the dentist I was using was down south where my parents live. I need to get one up here. You needed a bigger pause there, homie. Wait, what? I'm confused now. Oh, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Thinking about it, yeah. I blame Nat for that. She named the rabbit. Alright. 100% Nat's fault. So 100% Nat's fault. Yeah, I see the difference, George. As you know, sometimes when streaming, or just in life, you say something without thinking it through properly, and normally it's in front of other people, therefore everyone notices. I still blame that. I still blame that. Alright. Yeah, George, out of everyone, I expect you to understand. Sometimes splooge just happens, man. It just happens. Sometimes you can't help it. And sometimes when splooge occurs, you just weren't ready for it. That's never happened to you? You don't know what you mean? Well, I hope that you never experience it, George. That something you think that you've said so innocently is taken out of context. I hope that never happens. Fingers crossed for you, buddy. Tonight might be that night that it happens. And speaking of tonight, if anyone has suggestions on who to raid, let me know, because we are going to end it there. I'm doing what George does and just saves it like 5 billion times. If you have any suggestions on who to raid, whether they're new or someone I know, please let me know, because we are ending there, unless George is starting up within the next 10 seconds. Yeah, but how long is it going to take you to set up, George? Come on. Who are we raiding, you all? Yeah. As much as I'd like to raid someone you're suggesting that, if they're on 69 viewers, we cannot ruin that at all. So that's a no-go. As soon as he gets down to they get down to 60, we'll be right in there. But no. Have you got anyone else now? I like to rate people a lot lower than that. They're all at... Well, they're at 71 now. Well, now, I've got a couple online. I'll let you lot choose. We've got a group of 4 playing together right now. We've got Shin, Xylon, Shadow, and Chill. They're all playing Gears of War Judgment by the looks of it. Gears of War Judgment. So if you're up for that, we can go to one of them. We have Miss McKay playing Animal Crossing. Or we have Waxing Moon, who's playing Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. And for anyone living under a rock, it's May the 4th. Yes, Shadow, if you've got someone in mind, let me know. It is May the 4th. It is. It is. So, it's Star Wars Day. Yeah, what's your... Just put the channel in chat. I think you can post a link. So if you want to post that link in chat. If not, just their username. And then we'll go over. Nice to go surprise someone that's celebrating their anniversary. Where's my raid thingy? Alright. So we're gonna go raid Dupe Fort Gaming. Go say hello. They are playing Final Fantasy X and celebrating a year of streaming, which is a big milestone. 1 year in streaming is a lot. So yeah, go say hi, and I just want to say thank you all for being here. I will probably see you in George's channel soon. He's probably going to take like 10 minutes or so to set up and do his thing, maybe longer. We all know George is late for his own streams. Love you, George. So go say hello, go be nice, and Tomorrow I'll be joined by Mr. Rothy, aka Matt, playing A Way Out. It'll be our second stream of it. We're not that far in, as far as I'm aware, but I don't know how far along we actually are. Thursday I'll be playing The Last Day of June. This time I won't actually cancel that stream. Fingers crossed. Friday is D&D day. We'll be over in the Skyline Superman's channel playing some D&D. And then Saturday we'll be playing Raft with George and Matt. Sunday, who knows if there's going to be a stream. But yeah, thank you all for being here, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.
How exactly they get over there